Greetings, Calico fan. This is H.H. German from Sigma Comics coming to you from New York City, the greatest city in the world. So today I'm going to talk about a YouTuber by the name of Eric July, Young Ripper. And we're going to talk about him against John Byrne, who's one of the legendary creators, of comic book creators. And before I do, I'm going to take a swig of my Calico mug. Oh, that's good. Okay, so Young Ripper, Eric July. I would say he is among a brand of YouTube creators that follow the same kind of shtick. They address an ever-growing audience on aspects of pop culture that they mainly disagree with. And in doing so, they engage and charge that audience. And basically, they tap into this well of energy that's out there. And let me tell you, it is valid. There's a lot of validity to what people like Eric July do. So, in doing that, he's giving a lot more people the blueprint to successfully create comics. And let me explain. Today, okay, the world we live in today, we live in the information age, okay? The information age. You can get information about anything within seconds through the internet. And that's a powerful thing. You can tap into that information and address people out there who either don't know it or know it, but the main thing is you have commentary on it, and that's what he does. He gives commentary. It's commentary about information he gets, and or innate sentiments that he has. In his case, he is a comic book fan, and he's seen something happen to his industry, and again, a lot of the points he's putting out there are quite valid, and some of them are as follows. The quality of comics today drastically different than some years back. And by some years, I mean 10, 20, even 30 years ago. To some of you, that might be a very long time ago. For many of us, it's not. I mean, I'm in my mid-40s, okay? And I can tell you that I'm one of those people that do agree with that sentiment, okay? Reading comics back in the 80s and 90s, wow, compared to today, yeah, there is a big difference. There is. Mr. July and some of the other YouTubers out there like Ethan Van Sciver, EVS, and some other YouTubers, they take issue with many aspects of quality with respect to comics. What I would say is, again, they have valid points. But it's not just the quality of the product. There are other issues, including distribution. Okay, the difference between distribution today in comics compared to what it used to be in the 80s and 90s is night and day. Comics were available back in the 80s and 90s at grocery stores, at pharmacies, at gas stations even. Believe it or not, they were available at gas stations. Hospitals all had comics. So why is it that today you can't get a comic book anywhere? I mean, you could go down the street, candy store, bookstore, everywhere you can get comics. These days, try to do that. Go down to your corner store and see if you're going to get comics. All right, go to your deli, see if you're going to get comics. All right, go to your laundromat, see if you're going to get comics. Go anywhere. Go to your 7-Eleven, again, which used to carry comics. They don't have carry comics anymore. Why can't you get them? Well, there are lots of reasons for that. But who do you really blame? The big two. They could have done a much better job, and by the big two, obviously Marvel and DC is what I mean, and it's really the management at these organizations that should have had a better long-term view on the health of the comic book market, okay, and how to continue putting these books out there into the world, more places, more channels, creating more audiences through different genres and whatnot, not just focusing on superhero comics, mainly And again, that's just a couple of reasons. So that outside of the quality issue. So are people like Eric July and EVS, do they have merit in their points? They do. Okay, and in terms of the quality issue, why is this happening in comics today? Well, Calico Mug. One of the big issues is generation. Okay? Years ago, the vetting process was remarkably intense. You were extremely ecstatic to land a job creating comics. And when you took that job, there was an enormous amount of work to do. You had to understand the history of these characters. Okay? Imagine going into a McDonald's. Okay? This is a restaurant, a food chain that's been around for generations, that has a palate. There's a common palate, a collective palate out there. People who purchase that product understand what it tastes like, what it smells like, etc., etc. There's a branded effect that begins on the highway when you see those arches, that M, okay, the golden arches. You immediately smell those French fries. Okay, a lot of those people that are, again, fans and patrons of this restaurant find their way off the exit of that highway and into that restaurant for this experience, that branded experience. Now, just imagine walking in to this restaurant chain as a new cook back there, and you decide, yeah, forget about history. I'm going to do something different. In fact, I'm going to try my own recipe here. Okay? Let's see how that works out. Well, guess what's happening in the comic book industry today? You have more and more people going back to the counter with the tray that they give. What the hell is this? I don't want this. This is crap. Okay? Now again, if it was one or two people saying it, then, really wouldn't be a thing. But when you have millions of people saying this, okay, you have millions of people going with their tray back to the counter and saying, what the heck is this crap? Folks, you got to look at yourself in the mirror at that point. I mean, somebody's telling you stink. Again, it's one thing. If you got thousands of people saying, listen, you got to take a shower, you stink. You got to start listening to these people. Well, here's what's happening in comics. But by the way, those of you who don't read comics, what I'm about to tell you is 100% true. And it's crazy that it is. You have these young creators going back to the counter with an attitude, saying, if you don't like these French fries, you don't have to read them, and you're just a racist, or you're just a bigot, or you're just... Like, what? People are looking at themselves like, what are you talking about? No, we're not bigots or racists, or we just don't like this because it's dramatically different, and in a bad way, from what we're used to. We have a palate for this, and you're coming in there with no authority and doing this. That's the thing. The powers granted to them are those by these editors, unfortunately, allowing them to do this. But authority to do this with what is apparently no historical context. And this is the issue. You have creators that are writing these characters, drawing these characters, mainly writing them in a way that is just, it in some cases, it's embarrassing. It really is. And it's unfortunate. These people, like your Eric Julys and Ethan Van Sciver, as I mentioned, their response is to, in a very angry way, attack these people. And of course, that's going to, elicit some negative energy from these, creators at these, the big two. What I say is, the main fault is with the editors. They should really be doing a better job of A, vetting these people, 2, vetting the work that these people are doing, and 3, providing a platform for which they can more easily access the historical data, okay, and give better guidance to these people. That's what I would say. So how do you compare the views of what Eric July and EVS are doing versus John Byrne? Let's see what the difference is. Okay, this is why I made this video. somebody like an like an Eric July. It's really more like an Eric July, because the formula is you create an audience around topics that are, spicy topics that people that are valid, okay, and that people can really cling to. And then you go out and you try to solve the issue by creating a series, a comic book series. You're saying, well, the comics suck. Well, let's go ahead and create a better series. If you're saying the tool sucks, then you're going to go out there and create a better tool, and you're doing it through your platform. All right? Well, that's one way to do it. How does that juxtapose to someone like a John Byrne, a legend in the comic book industry? This is somebody who's been creating comic books for eons. Probably has the same views as an Eric July, but he just doesn't have that kind of a platform because he hasn't spent the past 10 years putting YouTube videos up. What he's been doing is actually creating comics. All right? And let's look at selling comics today as a legendary comic book creator versus somebody who has never created comic books but is passionate about the topic and leverages the information age that we're living in. Well, what's John Byrne doing now? He's doing this comic book series that he gives out for free on the web, and it's an X-Men series. Those of you who know John Byrne he's a legendary X-Men creator, among other titles, but he's mainly known for X-Men and She-Hulk, and probably a couple other things. But I would say X-Men. He was just wonderful artist there on that series, and again, legend in the industry, has millions of people who know who he is and understand the quality of his work. But you can't even compare him to Eric July now, because Eric July has spent, again, the last 10 years working on creating an audience around the problems of the comic book industry and other related industries, pop culture genres and whatnot. So as a result, he has a fan base, people who support him and his views. He turns around, leverages that fan base, and puts out a comic book series. Okay. Now on paper, I'm sitting here. Okay. Now I haven't read any of Mr. July's comic books. I've certainly read Mr. Byrne's comic books, but people are saying, well, this guy July is only getting all these subscribers, all these purchases of the books because of his platform, not because he's a good quality writer or artist or whatever he is. Is there truth to that? Probably. So what difference does it make if the guy is trying something to address a clear issue in comics? If anything, you got to take your hat off to him, applaud him, thank him, and then turn around and try to follow the blueprint he just gave you to be successful in comics. So there's your answer, folks, from me, as far as I'm concerned. In terms of talent, I would obviously give that to Byrne. He is a legend. In terms of ingenuity, gusto, and go-get attitude, obviously, that's going to go to Rippaverse. He's doing a wonderful thing in creating a universe. He's addressing an ill in the community, and he's also giving you a blueprint to be successful yourself. Instead of hating the guy, why not emulate him? First of all, thank him first. Emulate, because he's shown you how to do it. Emulate him and go out and create some comics. The reason I'm doing this video is precisely because of the success that somebody like he has had, and EVS. Again, whether you agree with their politics, their views on things, I don't give a crap about any of that. For me, it's about comics. I love comics, and in our case, we love animals as well. So we leverage our passion for animals and comics and put out comics out there. But we don't have a big audience, despite going to these conventions, because we're an indie. Practically no one knows about us. So if it's not us getting in a plane every weekend, going out, shaking hands, and selling comic books every weekend, nobody would know about us. Now we're going to add an additional layer to our audience building efforts in this YouTube channel. And again, it's thanks to people like Eric July and EVS. Again, it has nothing to do with the politics or how we view them. We have everything to be thankful for, left or right, up or down, man or woman or whatever else you want to call yourself, or animal or robot. It doesn't matter. The blueprint is there. If you create an audience around a passionate topic that you love and you're genuine, that's the key, you're genuinely passionate about, there's going to be people out there who agree with you and they're going to want to support you. And that's what we're doing thanks to those people who are doing this kind of thing. So thank you, Eric July, EBS, and the other ones who are leveraging information, the information age, in this case YouTube, to generate excitement and energy around a topic and support so that we can get a wonderful comic book series and a manga series out to the masses, people who love what we do, which is fighting animal abuse. All right, so there you have it. That's what I think about one versus the other, the Eric Julys of the world versus the legends who, again, amazingly, you know, they're just not nowhere near as popular as the former. So those legends should take a tip from these newbies here that are creating energy, creating excitement, turning around and creating, getting back to creating some stuff with a bigger audience. I know Todd McFarlane puts out videos as well, so he has been he has been taking a tip or two from the Eric Julys and the EVSs of the world. Okay, he's not just hiding behind his office chair there. He's putting out videos very regularly, whether he's drawing on his tablet or speaking to you from his office or holding up one of his toys. He's creating videos on a regular basis. So that's an example for you comic book creators and some of you legendary comic book creators. Don't be shy. Get out from under your drafting table or writing desk and put out some videos like we're doing. You know, say hello to your audience, engage with them, have a discussion with them that they may be passionate about, and give it a shot. I think you're going to get some more subscribers. All right, that's it for us. Before I go, I got to tell you, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for helping us in our fighting against animal abuse. Keep fighting for animals.